probably not a great idea to record a full episode of Halo Campaign Evolved after spending a full day editing and still not having eaten dinner yet. But you know what? The only thing I'm hungrier for than food is some more Halo. Haha! Got him. Okay, let's keep going. I turned off the objective notifications in the bottom right corner, and I also turned off item markers. I kept everything else on because honestly, I didn't find it too intrusive, and I'm kind of curious. I mean, I don't like these waypoint markers, but then I wasn't really thinking about it that much. It wasn't too intrusive, so I figure I'll leave it on. If it starts to annoy me, I can turn it off. Oh, but update, I checked the achievements, and there is no achievement for, ooh, we have some collectible stuff as well, or not collectible, cumulative stuff, collectibles. That's not the correct word to use. There is not an achievement for completing a mission or completing the Pillar of Autumn without picking up an overship, but there is an achievement for, oh, those must be the names of the new missions: Boarding Action, Most Dangerous Game, and Heavy Burden. There is an achievement for completing a mission without losing any health damage. Yeah, right here. Any level in Heroic or higher without taking health damage. Which seems kind of strange, since there isn't actually a health indicator in this game. Which, I gotta be honest, I didn't mention that, but that is kind of a bummer. Well, not kind of. It is, like... I do fear that the game is going to be considerably easier than the original because there is no health system. Because so far, it's like, mechanically, or at least in terms of the encounters, barring a couple minor things, it seems pretty much untouched. So I'm kind of expecting that it's going to be a generally easier experience than the original due to the lack of the health system. Also, there's no music. That's kind of strange. There's no music. There's supposed to be a music cue when you first crash down on the Halo ring. That is a little strange. That kind of makes up for it. I did like how in the cutscene intro to this mission, there was more elements to the crash landing. You actually saw some of the Marines flying out the back, and it felt like a more... I feel like I'm going to say these words a lot, but it was a more comprehensive version of the original cutscene, which is pretty neat. Also, I don't know if it was intentional for this to be an Infinite reference, but 216 being the drop pod number seems like a pretty cool touch. Anyway, let's keep playing. Let's keep going. Let's go across the chasm and see what's out there. Still no music cue. Are there
Covenant dropship inbound. They must be looking for survivors.
Okay, there it is.
I recommend immediate evasion.
Hey friend, how's it going? Where are you? Coming over here? Alright. Oh, actually, wait, is there anything over here? I wonder if there's anything interesting over here. I know I said it.
I've detected incoming Banshee fighters.
Oh. Never mind. Why did I try? I mean, I don't really know what I thought was going to happen there. I should have known that from the Silent Cartographer demo. Of course, it wasn't going to let me actually explore. That is a bummer. We knew ever since we found out you couldn't drive into the ocean anymore that this game is probably going to be much more limited in the scope of how much you can explore compared to the original. But, yeah, and it's especially a shame for this game of all the campaigns, because this is, apart from Infinite, arguably the most expansive and the one that encourages the player to explore the most. And that's such a like, I didn't even go that far. I literally stepped like 1 inch off the beaten path and was immediately punished for doing so. Also, do any of you have plasma pistols? Because the whole reason I came over here was to try to get a plasma pistol to shoot down one of those Banshees and hijack it for myself. But I get the feeling the game is smarter than that and knows not to give me that specifically to prevent me from hijacking one of these guys. So in the original game, you could just shoot this guy down with a pistol, because the pistol was stupidly overpowered. I kind of want to see if I can do the same thing here, but also, I feel like I'm going to waste a lot of ammo, so I'll try. We'll see how far we get with this, but I have a sneaking suspicion this may not work out. Oh, well, I damaged it at least. I saw a piece of it break off. Let's keep going. Let's keep trying. Maybe. Oh, you actually can. Now, is the other one going to retreat? Oh. Well, look at that. It behaves exactly the same way it does in the original game. That's exactly what happened in the original game. If you destroy one Banshee, the other one flies away. Awesome. Okay. So I actually appreciate them not, because in the original game you didn't have to worry about this, because obviously in Combat Evolved the plasma pistol didn't have an EMP functionality. You couldn't EMP vehicles with it. That wasn't added until Halo 3. So they could freely give you plasma pistols in that opening encounter without worrying about how it was going to, without worrying about letting the player hijack a Banshee several missions before they're supposed to be able to fly one for the first time. But obviously now you have to take that into consideration because the plasma pistol, I assume, I guess I haven't confirmed that it can do this because I haven't tried it yet. I haven't even picked up a plasma pistol, but I assume that the reason why they changed the plasma pistols to needlers over there was to prevent the player from doing that.
Evacuate the area and find other survivors before Covenant search teams arrive.
Thank you, Cortana. What would I do without you? Yeah, I assume that's why that was done, and good choice. I approve. I approve of the decision. Hello. Let's take out the grunts first. Have a grenade. Keep you back. Oh, he's actually gonna rush me down. Yeah, so the vibe I get from the AI, just to kind of as a brief recap for anyone who didn't watch yesterday's episode, the vibe I get from the AI, yeah, they only give you the plasma pistol after you cross past the Banshees. I feel like that is definitely intentional. I should try one of the, I should actually try, because when I play Combat Evolved, like, I tend to stick with UNSC weapons for the most part, at least for these first two missions, but I should at least experiment a little bit with the plasma rifle, see how it fares against the Covenant. But the vibe I get from the AI is that it's more advanced than it was in the original demo, still not quite as agile as it was in the original Combat Evolved, but it's like somewhere in the middle, so it's not terrible, it's not amazing, but it's workable, serviceable, solid. I'm impressed, but I'm not blown away by it.
Cortana, great to hear your voice again. We're pinned down by a large Covenant force. We would appreciate any assistance.
Yeah, so I still don't really care much for the actual voice actor of Johnson, but I kind of already got this sense from the opening.
Good to see you, sir. I thought we were the only ones who made it off the Pillar of Autumn.
Good to see you, sir. Welcome to the party.
It's a mess, sir. We're scattered all over this valley. We called for evac, but until you showed up, I thought we were cooked.
Don't worry, Sergeant. We'll stay here until evac arrives.
Excuse me? Oh, that's a ship. I was wondering why. I thought there was an enemy hiding up here, but no, it's just letting me know the dropship's coming in.
I got a Covenant dropship heading in. Over here.
The vibe I get from this is that because in the original game, Johnson wasn't really a character. Like, he was a character, but he wasn't. Normally for story-based characters, if they're invincible, like they can't be killed, or if they can be killed, which is the case for Captain Keyes in Truth and Reconciliation, that's part of the fail state. Like, you need to keep Keyes alive because he is a story-critical character. But that wasn't the case for Johnson. Even though Johnson did have lines and did show up in cutscenes, he still could be killed, and if he was killed, he would just show up again later anyway. And that, with the intentions that Halo was originally made with, they obviously didn't expect it to become the massive juggernaut that it was, so they weren't taking themselves too seriously. But when you're remaking it, probably a good idea to respect the fact that Johnson becomes kind of a fan favorite character in future games. So it definitely makes sense to, one, make sure that he can't be killed, and two, give him more lines, because the Johnson that you know and love from Halo 2 and 3 wasn't really present. Like, that side of his personality wasn't. There were traces of it, but it wasn't really at the front and center the way it was in future Halo games. So I like that they're giving Johnson more lines. We saw that in the first mission with the scene he shared with the Marines. So yeah, 2 thumbs up. I like how Johnson's being handled so far. And yeah, I don't know. I'm happier with this than I expected. Also, it looks like they've added some more structures here to this first tower area, which is never a bad thing. It's adding stuff to the level design without taking anything away. Like, the structures we know and love are all still intact, but they just added more elements of dynamism, more possible areas, for more possible ways for the elites for the Covenant to flank, more possible areas for your Marines to station themselves and attack from, more possible areas for you to attack from. Just all around a great choice to add these little bits and pieces here. I am trying to be very reserved with my praise and my criticism just because this could go any way. I really don't know what the general consensus is on this game yet. Oh, actually, that right there, I want to mention that. So, in the last episode, I heard some audio stuttering in my headphones, and I didn't call it out because I thought it was just my headphones. I have a wireless headset, and the connection is kind of spotty sometimes. It's usually pretty good, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it does crackle a little bit. So I thought that was just the game, or so I thought it was just my headset messing up. So I didn't really make a point to talk about it. But turns out that wasn't my headset, because when I was editing the video, I could hear the crackles in the file itself. So it wasn't just a headset problem, it was a problem with the game, which is not great, because that's kind of annoying. Watch, now when I go back to edit this video, I'll find out that it's actually not crackling this time. This time it is my headset, but it definitely wasn't my headset in the last episode. So I just figured I wanted to make an amendment here in this video in case anyone was wondering about that. In case you heard it and was like, why isn't he saying anything about the death spiral that's being injected into my ears right now? Also, yeah, I'm really pleasantly surprised by how much these elites are moving around. And I know it probably sounds like such a stupid thing to praise for some of you, because it's like, well, yeah, of course the enemies are supposed to move, but they really weren't moving all that much in the demo. They really were not moving that much at all. So I'm happy to see that they are a bit more mobile this time. Also, actually, I didn't think about that, but I just wanted to check. I don't think there's fall damage in this version. I haven't really been consciously thinking about it, but it doesn't seem like there's any fall damage in this, which I'm not super upset about. I've never really cared much for fall damage in these games. I haven't hated it, but I was not unhappy when I found out that Infinite wasn't going to have any fall damage. Can you imagine playing Halo Infinite and exploring the open world with fall damage? That would be horrible, and especially with the advent of the grapple shot, that'd be horrible. Anyway, yeah, that was fun. Although, still not quite as difficult. I think the lack of a health system really is kind of hurting the game's mechanics a little bit. Which, not to say it's not still fun. Halo's core gameplay loop is so... like, that core 30 seconds of fun that Bungie coined back when talking about the design philosophy for this game is so tightly refined and so fun that you're pretty much set no matter what. But, you know, challenge is still...
All right, ladies. Volunteers, step up. On the double. The rest of you get to the dropship.
Okay, Charlie Team, Warthog deployed. Saddle up and give them hell.
I still miss the sense of... And you know, again, we are still in Mission 2. It is still early in the game. I get that. But it didn't... In the original game, the first tower fight in this mission, what we just did right there, is one of the harder parts of the game as a whole. It can be pretty tough if you don't know what you're doing. And whereas that, I kind of just breezed through. I got a little bit careless in the beginning, but... And...
This cave is not a natural formation.
Bet your ass it's not, Cortana.
So it must lead somewhere.
You bet your ass it's not a natural
They're hacked
formation.
into the Covenant battle network. They're actually broadcasting tactical data on unencrypted channels. We should show them who they're dealing with. Master Chief, I'm going to use your suit's transcom system to monitor their chatter.
One other thing I was
security is promising. I should be able to analyze their defensive systems. I'll alert you when I find something of interest.
Oh no, they took away the... Oh, that's kind of disappointing. They took away... There was a part in the original game where you would loop around and have to jump over a gap. It looks like they took that away. Which is odd, because I was just praising how they didn't take anything away from the tower encounter up there. They just added a separate section. But that would definitely be a case of taking something away. Although, it's not like you know, of everything to lose, that's not the worst thing to have to lose, because it's not like there was any combat there. It was literally just a driving section. I imagine they wanted to make it more streamlined. Okay, can I confirm? They can in fact EMP your vehicle with the plasma pistol, and that was a really cool EMP effect. That looks sick. But yeah, not the worst piece of level design to lose, I suppose. Just a little strange, because there was a terminal hidden there in Anniversary. I guess it can't be a terminal anymore. Now I do kind of want to see. There's a little trick that I always use when I play through this game. I want to see if I can still utilize this trick. The trick is you park the Warthog here, you jump on top of the Warthog, and then you jump on top of here, and then... Oh, they made it even easier, actually. I mean, I still missed one of the grenade sticks, but... So the reason I do that is because if you come up here normally, it's kind of an ambush, and it's a choke point, essentially. Although it's less of a choke point here because they took out the ceiling to this part of the level, which I don't mind. That makes sense to give a little bit more room up here. But because it's such a coffin corner, essentially, it makes it easier if you just come up here first, and I'm glad they didn't take that away. I am going to try to see how much I can explore. Granted, I haven't been doing it much so far, but the one time I tried, the game spit in my face because I immediately got hit with the no fun timer, which wasn't stellar. But I am curious to see how much this game has been restricted. I think a part of me was hoping that they would add back in the ability to drive into the ocean the way you could in the original game in Silent Cartographer. I think it's safe to say that is definitely not going to happen in this game. Just if I've already hit a return to the battlefield timer there of all places, I think it's a lost cause, which is unfortunate. Warthog handles well though. I like that it has some weight to it, because the last two Halo games, the Warthog felt very floaty or weightless at times. It felt almost too light for the type of vehicle that it was, which in Infinite was at least...
There's new traffic on the Covenant battle network. A lot more crew made it off the Autumn than I had predicted. The captain really gave them hell. If we can find Captain Keyes and the other survivors, we have a chance to coordinate an effective resistance.
Echo 419 to Cortana, come in. I spotted additional life.
The timing of this is all off. I don't know if they shrunk the size of the level or they made the Warthog faster or what, but...
Near the head of the river. Hard to see from my altitude, but it looks like there are more survivors.
Acknowledged. We're on our way.
I mean, that's a gorgeous view, but I do have some notes about that. So, problem one, there shouldn't be... Cortana's dialogue shouldn't be overlapping the music like that. It's supposed to be a really big, epic moment when you first come out of the cave for the first time. The not a natural formation cave, and then you see another grand sweeping vista, and then the music cue hits. That's supposed to be a big moment, and it kind of gets weakened if Cortana's dialogue is overlaying it. That's a little disappointing. But then to make matters worse, they had Foehammer start talking, which she doesn't usually hear. That dialogue isn't supposed to play until after you rescue one of these gruesome Marines, and then after you rescue one, Foehammer comes over the radio to tell you, hey, by the way, there's 2 more that you can rescue if you want. By that I mean you need to progress. So that was strange. I don't know why. I mean, I guess the reason they changed that was because they didn't think that they didn't actually. Do they have the blue beacons? I should be looking for that. Do they have the beacons? Because that was how you knew in the original game where you're supposed to go next, was giant blue beams shooting into the sky. But it looks like they might have taken that out, which is kind of lame. Because that's a much more organic way of communicating to the player where they need to go next than literally just popping up waypoint markers. Also, they moved the... Contacts? Where? Oh, over there? Oh, that's weird. Oh, this is all off. Because previously, okay, the life pod's in the same spot. You come over here and get a sniper rifle. Or at least you could in the original game. Can I get one here? Is there a sniper rifle to... Aha! There sure is. Alright, I can't wait to see how this thing... I'm not a big fan of the design. Design's a little eh. But it is... I'd say it's a pretty faithful recreation of it, at least. We got that going for us. But yeah, in the original game, the entrance was over here. Did they move the entrance? Or... No, I think it's still here. Yeah, it's still here. Oh, I guess they just added a second entrance? Okay. Okay, I don't hate that. I don't hate that. That's what Halo's always about, is giving you multiple ways to enter an arena and figure out your strategy from there. Okay, you know what? Let's go try the other one, because I always go, because there's only one way to go in the original game, is to go that way. So let's mix things up. Let's try something new. Let's try to go. I guess this was done to provide more avenues of attack, because the other two Marine squads you can rescue do have multiple ways to enter their arena and rescue them, whereas for this one there was only just the one way in. So I definitely don't hate this choice. Also, I haven't tried changing seats.
Set him up, knock him down.
Oh, you just...
Up and in.
Oh, that's not... Oh, I don't care. Oh, that looks actually unfinished, is what that looks like. There's no, like, animation or anything. It's just, you just teleport. That is, okay. I am actually kind of shocked that made it into the finish. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's one of those basic quality assurance things that you'd thought they would have taken care of it. I guess not. Okay, so the way I usually do this part is I come in here with a sniper and start, well, sniping. I think I see the head of an elite. That didn't go according to plan. Okay, so there's a chance I might have missed the headshot there, but in the original game, blue elites would go down from a single shot to the head. So either I missed, which is possible, I didn't have a great angle there, or they changed the way that sniping works. Either is perfectly entirely possible. Yeah, so I have the feeling I'm getting from this so far is that this is going to be a game of maybe not highs and lows, but kind of a constantly fluctuating experience, because on the one hand you have the timing of the dialogue, which kind of ruins the grandeur of the reveal, but then immediately afterwards you get the fact that they added another way into this part of the level. So kind of back and forth, which I feel like is probably going to be this whole game. Okay. Let's return to our Warthog and see if we can tear some things up. I don't want to use all my sniper ammo. I usually come in and snipe what I can, and then when I run out of major targets to snipe, and by major targets I mean elites and jackals, then I shift to focusing on then I jump in the Warthog and go clean up the rest. I shot all the elites I could see. Alright, maybe it wasn't a great idea to come charging in. Oh, yep. It occurs to me that my strategies for playing this game are all reliant on the way the original game functions. Oh, that's a... Don't think I care for the music restarting there each time. Okay, so that time I definitely didn't miss. So I think it is just the case that blue elites no longer go down from a single headshot. Which I don't love as a balancing choice, but I'm not gonna get too hung up on specifics there. Now there's the other guy. Boom. Never knew it hit him. Yeah, so for this mission, I always just come in here with a Warthog and start going guns blazing. But it occurs to me that the only reason I felt safe doing that is because... Huh? That looks a little strange. Just rocks falling out of the sky. Okay. That's a wee bit strange. I only ever felt safe charging in with the Warthog here because I knew the enemies couldn't EMP me, because there obviously isn't an EMP in the first game as previously established. But now there is, so I can't be as careless with my driving here. I gotta be very. I gotta keep it. If I want to try this, I gotta keep a very keen eye out for when the grunts are pulling out those plasma pistols. I think it's mostly just needlers, so I think I should be fine. Yeah, I think it's. Oh, hey, no! Oh shit! I got stuck on the wheel. The same thing happened twice in a row. I got stuck on the wheel. Okay, this is it. Third time is the charm. Can confirm third time is the charm. I guess while I try to fumble my way through this, I should say, well, one thing I was going to talk about earlier that I forgot to mention in the first episode is one thing I was concerned with, because I know they added a bunch of new weapons to this game. The battle rifle is here, the needle rifle is here. So,
Let's find a way down.
I'm not a huge fan of that, honestly, because Comet Evolve's sandbox is kind of perfect the way it is. I'm not opposed to allowing you to pick up the Fuel Rod gun and sword. That makes perfect sense, because it was always extremely strange in the first game how the Covenant, the elites could wield swords and then grunts could wield the Fuel Rod guns. And you could pick up every other weapon that they would drop except for those for seemingly no reason. It wasn't not very satisfying as a player to just not be able to pick up what after being killed who knows how many times by a secret sword attack or a bombastic Fuel Rod charge. It's not very satisfying to then be unable to turn that against the enemy. So I'm glad you can do that, but I am kind of worried about how the other weapons would impact this game's balancing, because the Comet Evolve sandbox is kind of perfect. Gotta be honest, it is kind of just perfection. So I am worried about how that's going to impact things. But I can at least pray. Like, I was worried that on the first level they were going to give you a battle rifle and a shotgun and just shove a million new weapons down your throat. But they didn't do that. They kept the weapon sandbox limited exclusively to the pistol and the assault rifle for the UNSC, and of course frag grenades. And then the plasma pistol, plasma rifle, and plasma grenades for the Covenant. You don't even see jackals in the first level either. They kept things nice and simple, which is good. I'm glad they did that. I was really worried that they might try to tamper with the exquisitely refined tutorial that was. Pillar of Autumn is kind of the perfect tutorial, honestly. Or at least it would have been if they didn't cut the tutorial for some reason. I assume they're trying to market this toward people who, you know, just want the ability to experience their childhood again, and so they don't need to worry about teaching the way Halo works to them. But also, you're releasing it on PlayStation 5, which is a platform that's never had Halo ever at any point in the last 25 years. So, might be something worth considering. I don't know.
Roger that. Marines, assemble for evac, pronto.
Also, I saw an elite jump off the tower to come kill me. That was pretty awesome. That's the kind of stuff you'll love to see, is just really showing how mobile the enemy is and how far they're willing to go to get you. I don't even think they could do that in the original game, honestly. Also, anyone want to come with me? Yes? Yes? Yeah, let's go. Let's tear up this place. I liked seeing the elites jump off the tower to come get me. That was pretty rewarding.
Word on the Covenant battle.net is find and expunge the putrid apes. Sounds like we made quite an impression. We need to find the other two lifeboats.
Wow, so those Banshees don't even stand a chance. They may not be as weak to the pistol anymore, but they certainly are weak to my Warthog chain gun. So that's nice. I do miss not being able to see how much health my Marine buddies have up in the top left. That was always really informative. Although I guess if there's no health system in this game, then you don't really need to be able to see how much health they have. Still, I liked having a list of my squad mates up in the top left. This one might be a little trickier, because this one I always did exclusively in the Warthog. But like I said before, I also didn't have to worry about being EMP'd and then subsequently stuck by plasma grenades. Just throwing plasma grenades I can handle. Just being EMP stunned I can also handle. But both of... Oh my god, that was a beam rifle. I swear I think that was a beam rifle. Yep. Yep, that was exactly what that was. That was a Jackal sniper. Okay. I don't Oh, are you up there? There you are. Little fucker. I wonder how lethal they are. I should probably find out. Not now. Oh, I didn't even think about... Uh-oh. This is a death. This is 100% a death. Or not. We live. We live. We live. We live! Okay, let's retreat into the mountains. I have... Yeah, that's what I thought. If I had just stopped a little sooner before the rock, I think I would have been fine. Okay. We definitely need to find out how lethal the snipers are, because their lethality varies depending on which game you're playing. In Halo 2, in Halo 2 and Halo 5, they're the absolute worst thing ever. In Halo 4, they're a total joke, and you never have to take them seriously. Oh my god! I'm glad to see Unreal Engine 5 is working out well for them. And Halo 3 and Infinite are probably the best balanced they've ever been. And then they obviously weren't present. I didn't even think about that. I was just talking about new weapons, but for some reason, the thought never occurred to me, not even once, that they were going to be adding Jackal snipers to Combat Evolved. I don't know why I never thought that, but I didn't. The thought legitimately just never crossed my mind. That's insane. Well, here they are. And, okay, I think that was me getting hit by a beam rifle sniper, so I think we can confirm that on Heroic, at least, it takes more than one shot to kill you. Probably takes one shot to drain your shield, and then one shot to finish you off. I'm guessing that's what it's gonna take, which I mean, that was kind of the thing with Halo 4, was that the Jackal snipers took 2 shots to kill you, and so you never had to really take them seriously. The best compromise from that would be something like Halo Infinite, where the Jackals, in that game, the Jackal snipers do take more than one shot to kill you, but they fire really quickly, so you have a chance to survive, but you don't have all the time in the world to survive. Whereas in Halo 4, the problem with them was that they literally just, like, they would fire one shot, go do all their grocery shopping, and then come back, and maybe if they felt like it, they'd fire the second shot and kill you. At which point, obviously, your shield would have already regenerated, so it kind of don't really have to take the challenge that seriously. Also, okay, let's just deal with you now. Goodbye. But it's cool to see they're here. It makes sense for them to be here. I don't know why I never put 2 and 2 together and realized, oh yeah, this game's gonna have sniper jackals now. And I don't want to gloss over that that texture issue we just encountered. Also, there should be sniper ammo over here. I think I'm gonna want to pick that up if I can find it. Yep, there's a sniper ammo. Thank you kindly. Oh, another dropship coming inbound. Where did I lay my Warthog? Here it is. Let's go. So, this might also be a good time to mention, I saw a video on my recommended feed talking about the horrible development cycle of Halo Studios, of this game at Halo Studios, which doesn't surprise me at all, considering everything else we've heard about. Okay, this is a death, yeah. The dropships are brutal in this game. You never really had to take the Spirit dropship fire seriously in Combat Evolved. It was always so easy to dodge those shots. But not in this game. In this game, if you need to be very careful with your positioning, because those dropship blasts will mess you up. Yeah, so this isn't really a surprise. Well, this shouldn't be that the game's production was kind of a nightmare, because I can't remember the last time we had a Halo game with a production cycle that wasn't a nightmare, honestly. It's just been nightmare after nightmare for the last decade. But especially given everything we heard about what was going on behind the scenes, it really shouldn't have come as a surprise to me that this game's development was apparently hell. But oh, sorry, buddy, didn't mean to do that. But it makes sense. So I don't know the specifics of exactly what went wrong. I haven't watched the video. It's in my watch later playlist to, well, watch later. Is there still a sniper alive? There is. Well, there was. Not anymore.
The final lifeboat. I'll give you a nav point to the beacon.
Area secure.
Warning. I've picked up reports that the Covenant have located and secured the Pillar of Autumn's crash site. The good news is the captain is still alive. The bad news is that the Covenant have captured the entire surviving command crew.
I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm unfinished is the word I would use to describe some of the stuff I'm seeing. Just a lack of polish in some areas, like the audio stuttering for one, the texture glitches that we've seen, and then the lack of an animation for switching seats in the Warthog. That might be the most egregious one, because that's just such an obvious... Oh wait, no, they do. Okay, they do still shoot blue beacons. So what was going on back there? I waited for a bit. It doesn't usually take that long for them to shoot those blue beacons into the sky. I guess I just didn't wait long enough. Oh, achievement? Headshots? Yeah, that makes sense. Because that was the one that I had the most amount of progress for. I figured it was...
Marines hiding in the hills above the structure.
Figured it was only a matter of time before we got that achievement. Oh. We're playing Rock Anthem here? I don't think I like that. That seems strange. Rock Anthem for Saving the World was composed for the ending of Silent Cartographer. I don't think I like that they play it here at the end of... Huh. There have been some questionable choices with the music so far. I mean, I guess it's better than making a whole new soundtrack and royally screwing it up. But I would like to have a word with... Because it happened earlier, too, with playing the suite for this level, the sort of... Oh, were you trying to... I think that guy was trying to hijack my vehicle. Playing the dramatic, music swell when you come out of the cave as soon as you spawn back in again. And then not playing the opening suite for this level until I was well into my journey across the bridge. A lot of really strange music choices. I do like the steep incline here, though. Adds a bit more verticality to this area.
Echo 419 to Cortana. Bullhammer's on station and ready for another pickup.
New traffic on the Covenant BattleNet. I found Captain Keyes. He's being held on a Covenant cruiser I disabled before we abandoned the Autumn. We should move out, Lieutenant, and then we'll need your help on a rescue mission.
Yeah, so you may notice that I got a rare achievement for beating the first mission, and not a rare achievement for beating the second mission. I've since come to learn the only reason that happened is because apparently Microsoft servers went down today, so a lot of people couldn't log in to play, which not a great day for that to happen, but...
Corps issued me a rifle, not wings.
There's a gravity lift that ferries troops and supplies between the ship and the surface. That's our ticket in.
The more I listen to this voice actor, the less I like him as Johnson. And I already wasn't big on him.
According to the topographic surveys I've obtained from the Covenant Battle Network, we should be able to access the Covenant cruiser Truth and Reconciliation on foot. Head through the series of plateaus and foot trails up ahead.
Hit it, Marines! Go, go, go!
Okay. Out of the gate, I already love the way that Covenant ship looks. That is a stunningly beautiful image. The desert plateau is just the right balance of giving the player visibility and also maintaining the dark, moody atmosphere from the original instead of what they did in the remake, in the Anniversary, which is make everything bright for no reason, which is what they did for every level in the Anniversary. But my question is, do I have night vision? Oh, I do. Oh, and the Marines actually glow. Oh, that's so sick. Because the thing was, in Anniversary, you didn't even need night vision because it was so goddamn bright. There was literally no point to ever turn on night vision. But oh man, oh, I really like that. I like that a lot. Oh, that ship looks so sick. Oh, I'm having such a love-hate experience with this game. So, well, maybe not even that. There's nothing here where well, I don't know. I kind of hate. If there's one thing I can ascribe the word hate to, I think it is the voice delivery. I hate how Cortana sounds. I hate how Captain Key sounds. I hate how Sergeant Johnson sounds. Well, Sergeant Johnson sometimes has a good line every now and again, but a lot of the time I don't like him in this role at all. The only one I really don't have any issues with so far is Master Chief, which, you know, to be fair, he doesn't have the most amount of dialogue in this game. So I guess it's not a super high bar to clear. Still. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. This mission definitely didn't wow me as much as the first one did. And I wouldn't even say that fully wowed me. Graphically speaking, I think it might have to do with the fact that once you're outside, some of the graphical issues become a little harder to ignore. Audio stuttering was a bit more rampant, or maybe it wasn't more rampant. It's just that now that I know it's actually the problem with the game and not my headset, maybe I noticed it happening more, even if it didn't actually happen more. A lot of weird music choices too, as far as when certain cues played, playing tracks designed for later missions during this mission. That was all very strange. But the core gameplay loop still works. I continue to be impressed by the AI, although more in like a good job sport. It's more like that kind of attitude than it is, wow, this is a really clever AI. It's kind of that kind of a thing. But that's still way better than I was expecting out of this game, so can't really complain. And is there anything else? I think those were the highlights of this mission. Oh, and obviously the lack of a seat switching animation is extremely strange. But I am excited for this next mission, because Tree of the Reconciliation, one of my favorite missions in the original campaign, although I kind of love all the missions. And that includes the library, because the library obviously is the least visually interesting level in the original game, but for what it is, as a Flood gauntlet to kind of prepare you to be able to tackle both the Flood and the Covenant at the same time in later missions, it works. It works. I like the library. I would never defend it as an amazing level, but it works for what it is. That being said, that is the level that I'm most curious about what they're going to do, because most people would tell you the library is one of the worst levels in the entire Halo franchise, which I at least can see why people say that, and even Bungie themselves said they made the level too long, which I don't necessarily, well, maybe I do feel that way. Maybe cutting one floor wouldn't have been the end of the world, or at least doing something to make each floor more unique. But I am kind of curious. 343 Guilty Spark is the level that carries the most amount of responsibility, because that's the big reveal. You can't fuck that level up. But Anniversary did fuck that level up, which means, and that's like, even people who like Anniversary's visuals would still agree, or there's only 2 people in my life I've ever met who don't think 343 Guilty Spark was butchered in Anniversary. The vast majority of people, even those who like Anniversary, would say, yeah, they kind of ruined that level, didn't they? That was pretty shit, wasn't it? So I feel like that's, even if nothing else in this game works, which, to be fair, there is a lot of stuff in this game that does work really well so far. I think that's the one area, if nothing else, that I am expecting them to knock out of the ballpark, just because of how badly they screwed it up last time with Anniversary. And then the library, I just don't know what they're going to do with. But I'm liking this so far. I still am enjoying my time with this. The gameplay definitely is, like, the lack of a health system and the slightly less advanced AI. Keyword being slightly. I don't want to keep harping on that, because the AI is continuing to impress me the deeper into the game we get. But it does feel like a watered down version of Combat Evolved. But then again, Combat Evolved's kind of a masterpiece, so even a watered down version of Combat Evolved is still pretty fun. And I really love what they're doing with all the environments. Graphical issues and audio pickups aside, I really do like what they're doing with this game. I like it a lot. Okay, so that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time, and hope to catch you all tomorrow for some more Halo Campaign Evolved. Goodbye.